What is good, everybody? Quancredible here to bring you the review for Black Clover episode 145. And this episode was really cool. First and foremost, I want to say, there were lots of part of this episode that, animation wise, looked really, really clean. Like, they looked mad clean. I mean, there were some parts that looked a little weird, but overall, I feel like the episode looked, visually looked dope. Um, as for the episode itself, it's like, granted, we are more so into that later half of the of this Devil Banisher mini filler arc, and I will say, the premise of it I like, the reveal at the end I like, but there were just some, a couple things in this middle part that just bothered me. Now, in the beginning of the episode, we get how all the captains are setting up, or not all the captains, but the whole Black Bull squad, Jack, Charlotte, Fuegolian, and Nozel, and a couple of their squad members are all setting up this ambush to reclaim Nero and Marie, as well as apprehend the Devil Banishers. Now, again, I said in my last video that I felt like involving this amount of captains is overkill, and I was reading the comments and talking to some of you guys, and you guys were basically telling me that, oh yeah, they want to basically prevent another Eye of Midnight Sun by dealing with these terrorists immediately, as well as you don't really want internal struggle right after the whole disaster that just happened and in going into the Spade Kingdom, which I 100% agree with. I definitely agree with that. When you put it that way, it makes a lot of sense. But my only issue now is that we had all these people here, we had all this manpower, and they couldn't even recapture both of them. And it's just you had so much raw attack force here, and we couldn't reclaim Nero and Marie. It was what was Jack doing this entire time? I felt like Jack was just sitting there. Same thing for Charlotte. What was Charlotte doing? She was just kind of standing there. It was just a lot of standing around. I feel like the the people who wrote the episode should have just not even included them, because it just makes it weird when you think about, well, why didn't all these people just jump in and save them? I mean, granted, we can assume that they were fighting random members of the Devil Banishers that they may have hired, or ones that may have been a part of them, but they didn't really show that. I mean, they showed Nozel fighting, and they showed Fuegolian taking care of the smoke, and I want to say they showed Nebra and Solid run off, which is cool. I can accept that. But they showed Randall, so it's what was Randall doing? They showed Soul and Charlotte, didn't see them. Showed Jack and a couple other random members, didn't see them at all. So it's I feel like if you're not going to utilize them to showcase that much force, you better off just not even put them in there. You just be better off. Other than that, I think how everything looked, like I said in the beginning, it looked really nice. I thought the actual Devil Banisher peoples themselves, their magic is a little bit more impressive than I initially gave it credit for, because I remember when we found out what their magic did, I kind of did make fun of the chick who used paper, because I'm like, what does this paper even do? But of course the paper actually turns out to where it's sharp and can cut things. Of course, I should have known that if paper was involved, they'd make it sharp and be able to cut things. So I guess she's a bit more impressive than I initially thought she was. As well as the barrier guy. I assumed his barriers were going to be weak, but this guy one hand barrier blocks both Magnus Fireball and Lux Blast of Lightning. And now I will say they're both not individually all that strong, but I feel to do that is still pretty impressive. I gotta give the man his credit where it's due, as well as their plan to lure Asta out. Now, the other thing with their plan to lure Asta out is they lured Vanessa away because she has the ability to turn fate in her favor. But so far, the only things that we've seen Vanessa and her cat do is more or less just prevent fatal damage. So the whole thing of luring Vanessa away just felt like it was for no reason. On the villains group part, because they weren't really planning to I guess best case scenario, if they were able to kill everybody right there, they were trying to lure her away. But I don't know, it just feels weird. That's probably the only thing. I guess if they were going for best case scenario and they were going to kill everybody right there, then it makes sense to take Vanessa away. But I feel like they had to plan for this, because they hired all these contingencies. So I feel like more than likely they knew they were going to have to run away, especially with the reveal in the end that they just wanted these people. So I don't know, a little weird, just a little weird to lure her away, because I feel like they weren't I feel like initially, like, or not initially, but I feel like the actual secret plan was to not kill them right all in that moment. So luring her away overall is just strange. But outside of that, they did somewhat escape using their smoke, and then Asta like pursued them while everybody else kind of just was dealing with the smoke and the leftover people. Asta being able to use his key to sense them, so the transparency magic isn't a big deal for him. Now the whole bargain thing where basically Asta gave himself up and his grimoire and was able to get Marie. Now that part was definitely really cool. I'm a huge fan of so dropping down to save Asta was really dope. But the fact that they took his grimoire is mad grimy. Like, definitely this is for some type of devil ritual or something, and also to take a lot of Asta's combat ability out of the equation. But it's just like even Tabata said, like in one of the first initial volumes, like in SBS, like targeting someone's grimoire is like a taboo. It's the lowest of the low that you can do in the verse of Black Clover. Like I'm not for sure if it is the lowest, but it's like bottom 5 for sure. Like it's up there with like murdering people in my opinion. So like it's just mad grimy that they stole his grimoire as well. For ritual or not, it's just like, wow, I can't believe you guys even did that. But yes, after that, they do end up escaping again, but at least they did save Marie. Now this next part was like really really funny to me, because like the captains are in the meeting kind of going over what all had like happened. And I was apologizing, like, oh yeah, this is actually the work of my supporters, I feel bad and all that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, because like it's weird because Daminato is not a bad guy. Like, he's really not a bad guy. I know a lot of you don't like him. I'm not that big a fan of him either, but I like his character. Like it's like I like what he does for the story and for the verse, but me personally, I don't like him. And the next part was really funny because William is in this meeting, and if you remember back, he wasn't in the last one. And Yami is like, oh, you weren't even at the last meeting, and now you're actually here after all that crying you did about swearing your loyalty. And I'm just like, Yami is so childish for bringing this up. Like I feel like that was like supposed to be a like intimate moment between those three, and he's harping on William for it, and it's just it is really funny. But after that, some random mage, he bursts in and says that it's Kabe, and then we see that it was definitely the girl that we seen in the beginning, as well as that other woman. I can't remember their names. Dazu, and the medicine chick. I can't remember her name. They like betrayed them essentially, because we see them like laid out and stuff, and they're actually trying to summon a devil. Now, I'm not for sure how that's gonna go, because I'm assuming like there's something with Nero having a curse on her and a grimoire. I don't think they're gonna succeed. I want them to succeed, because that would make this filler really interesting if we got to see a devil in. That would like take this filler from like kind of mid to like hype that fast. Like it would literally go from mid to hype in like a second. So like I really hope they actually do succeed with this, and obviously not some super powerful word devil level fight, but like something mildly challenging, because like it's like I was saying before, these people all seem really unimpressive. Like it just doesn't seem that strong. Like it seems like this could be dealt with really easily. So I would just really like to see something a little bit more. Now, do I actually think they're going to do it? No, just because like I feel like trying to write that in is kind of difficult, and there's like I feel like trying to balance it in the verse and in the story would just be like really difficult to do, and it would just make things weird. So like they probably won't, but if we could meet in the middle somewhere, I'd be happy with that too. I'd be really happy if we could meet in the middle. Now, for like at the end of the episode, as I was just saying, we seen like Kabe's group and the paper girl and the barrier guy, they were laid out, defeated. Like I kind of, not saying I needed them to be dead, but I kind of assumed they were like dead or really injured. And then in the previews of next episode to see them like healed, so I'm assuming like some people went down there and they healed them. Like I don't know why I was expecting them to be dead at the end of the episode. I guess that's the problem with watching the previews right after a like cliffhanger, is you kind of just like start to have your own assumptions. And I was getting really excited for, oh yeah, they died. Oh my gosh, this is really crazy. They betrayed them. Wow. But it's like, oh yeah, they're just alive again. Now, granted, they probably would have died if whoever wasn't there healed them, or whoever went healed them. Then they probably would have died. But I was just kind of expecting it. But yeah, not for sure where we're going in the next episode because like we kind of only see that, so I'm assuming we're just going to get some more info, maybe the beginnings of the ritual. I'm assuming like we're definitely not going to see like the big bad of the end of this arc yet. Um, but so far I'm liking the direction that this went. The whole like betrayal and the devil banishers are actually the devil believers, and like this whole thing just like flipped 180. I'm really liking it a lot, so really excited to see where it goes next. Let me know how you guys felt about the episode down below. We are getting extremely close to 1,000 subscribers. I know I've been saying it a lot recently, but it's only because we're getting really close and I'm really excited. So if you could sub to the channel as well as like the video, I would appreciate you greatly. So outside of that, I have nothing else for you guys. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you in my next video.